So guys, tell us about your connection with variety that goes back many, many years.
Well, it does. It goes back to an introduction to variety from a good friend of mine, Neil Oram, who had been on an Outback Odyssey venture with me in '97, and we were a little bit disturbed about lack of accountability with the funds in that event. And he said, look, I've been on a variety event and you should have a look at variety because they're totally open book and they're very honest about where all the money goes to the kids. And so we made some investigations, and that led to me going down to watch the send-off of the 2000 bash from Adelaide and spotting Doug Lehman and the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs all on a trailer, and realising initially that this was as craziest event that I really wanted to be involved in. And so we bought a car, an old car that belonged to the father of one of our employees, and did it up, spent a lot of money, a lot of time on it. During vintage as well, yeah, so one of those sort of events. And then we entered the 2001 bash, and really that's where it started. The love affair, the commitment, the necessity became obvious that we needed to be involved.
And you talk about it as a love affair. It's something that you get to do together as well, which must be special, Pam.
Oh yes, it's a great feeling to work together and to go out there and meet like-minded people as well. I love that, doing that as a couple, especially like with the four-wheel drive challenge. There are a lot of other couples out there, and so it's a really good feeling, and you make some fabulous friends, as well as knowing that you're doing a wonderful thing.
And talking about the wonderful thing, I mean, becoming involved in an event is one thing, but ending up as gold sponsor of the challenge for 11 years, love the docs.
Yeah.
Gold sponsor of the challenge for 11 years, major sponsor of the Variety Bash for in excess of 5 years. That's a huge commitment.
Yeah, we think that we can't rely on the government to look after all these kids. There are too many kids that need assistance and have disabilities or disadvantages. We recognise that that's the situation. The country just can't afford that. So there becomes then a necessity to look upon or look to the people who can afford it, and we can afford it. The hard cold truth is, if you're paying tax and you've got a successful business, then we believe we should be making a contribution to kids. So that's where the real belief comes from. And that's where that commitment comes from.
And it's something, knowing you personally, I know it's something that actually makes you quite emotional.
It does, very much, yeah. It's very difficult to ignore all these kids that have disabilities and know what they're going through and know what their parents go through to raise them. It's something that's in my mind all the time.
But it's also the helping with the community. I mean, everyone thinks it's disadvantaged children, but it's also like in the community. You're like, I drive in to do the shopping every day, and I drive past like the skateboard park, and there are children riding around on the skateboard park, and I know that Variety helped put that there. And if they hadn't helped, people would still be struggling to put it there. And so it gives the children something to do, and it's really rewarding to know that you're helping everybody, the community, the hospitals.
And we talk about Variety as a family, and it is, isn't it? I mean, that sense of the connections that you've both made have been pretty special.
Well, yes, our friendship with you, for instance, that's it's very humbling to some of the people that we've met and knowing what they do for Variety in all these different aspects. It's just, I'm quite in awe of the people that we've met and the friendships that we've made. It's really added another dimension to our lives.
And it does seem to attract similar people, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Yes.
It's everybody has these has the kids in the back of their minds, but everybody has needing to spend time together too. We sometimes don't see each other for a year, but very frequently it can be months. But you pick up with friendships just like you'd seen someone the week before or the day before. It just kicks off where the last one finished.
And talk to us about the events. You've both done the crazy dressing up thing with the bash.
Something I never thought I would do. I was told by someone when Tim first started going on the bash, a girl who I know quite well, she said, "Oh, you won't like the bash, Pam. You're a challenge girl, you know, a little bit more sensible." But I find it quite liberating actually to dress up and do silly things.
Isn't it the
I
great
never
leveler?
thought I'd do it, but
It's a great level of the bash.
Yeah.
You know, the challenge. You know, you can see how people dress, and you can see what they wear, and you can see how much money they put into making themselves neat and tidy. But on the bash, you certainly can't, because everybody's dressed in something ridiculous, and you could be talking to the Prime Minister and not know it. You know, you could be talking, and we meet wonderful people every day, and then it's really interesting to find out what they do and where they're from and how they live their lives. It's a fabulous event. They're very different events, but they're equally enjoyable for me at the moment. I think there'll come a time in our lives that will become more orientated towards the four-wheel drive challenge than the bash. I find the bash is literally that. It's quite wearing. And it doesn't take me a whole year to get over it, but it does take some time normally. So that's probably the pathway for the future.
Mind you probably enjoy your wife getting to dress up as a flight attendant.
Absolutely. Oh, thoroughly. Yeah, no, we won't go into depth.
The challenge this week, some incredible tracks.
Amazing. I'm in awe of cars that have got 4 tiny slithers of rubber on the road, and a lot of power under the bonnet that have been going up and down these jolly hills that. The one we went up yesterday, I looked at it from the bottom and thought, well, this is going to be pretty interesting. So we've had some fabulous tracks. It's been one of the very best, in my opinion. I love sand, so I've always loved the events where there's lots of sand to drive in. But this has been a genuine challenge, and a couple of white knuckle moments, a couple of times where people wanted to get out of the car. And a couple of times where I thought, I don't know about this. This is really a genuine challenge,
Wow.
It's yesterday in particular. Yeah.
It's been quite a challenge for you to find enough tyres.
Yeah, I have set the new record for shredded
really?
tyres. Yeah,
Great.
I've got the record for this event so far,
Congratulations.
but it's not over, and I'm missing the last day. So maybe someone will go past me still. But no, 1 serious blowout and 2 punctures. Yeah.
So what keeps you both coming back? I mean, to the events and being connected for such a long time. What is it?
I'd
Go
say I mean, we know we're giving to the children, but I mean, unless you're actually enjoying something and finding it rewarding, you wouldn't do it. And so we find it rewarding and enjoying it, and we have just, as I said, we've made some great friends, and so it's like you're working with friends. So it's just it's wonderful. I like it.
Like-minded people, and people who are just wonderfully generous and have got big hearts. It's very, very easy to fall in love with people like that.
Yeah. And seeing the results
and
of
need to be with them.
the results of your fundraising.
Yep.
Knowing that it's helping people, seeing those things connect.
And it's worth mentioning that not only do you guys do your sponsorship, but you also actively fundraise at the same time. I mean, last year a very significant fundraising effort through the bash. So you're sort of giving at every single level.
Yeah, I think that's because we assemble the team, but the team is the sponsor. The team becomes the sponsor, but then I think there's a responsibility that falls to Pam and me, which is to teach the team that there's no such thing as a free lunch. That we really do need to be seen to be actively fundraising as well as having the sponsorship. I think is really good to teach the younger members of the team that that's the pathway that they need to stick with for the future. So that's part of it, and part of it is that the fundraising is fun in its own right. So we have some great fun, as we will this year. This year there are some fantastic events that we'll engage in to raise funds. So we look forward to another substantial total. There goes my truck.
It's vintage.
That's not a very good truck, that one.
And what do you hope for the future?
Oh,
What do we hope for the future?
hope to be able to stay involved. Hope for good health. Hope to stay involved necessitates good health. So that's the critical thing.
Just to keep on, really.
Yeah, just to keep on doing more. Yeah, when we got that award the other night, I said, you know, I don't see anything changing soon, and I meant it. You know, that's the way I would like to continue it.
Yes, I agree.
But now it's on film, so that's a serious
there was a
commitment.
method in
Then,
my madness.
yeah, there, yeah. Ron Barton in his introduction to an event recently as you know, when he was chair, stood up in front of everybody, the whole crowd, and said, "And Tim and Pam have graciously agreed to be sponsors again for another year." And the conversation hadn't even been had. And Pam wasn't there, and I came home from the event, you know, it was a launch night, came home and I said, "Guess what? We're sponsors for another year." And she said, "Oh, I didn't think we'd had that conversation yet." I said, "No, we haven't, but we are now."
And we just did.
And we just did. Yeah, that was it.